Chapter 5, Home at Last. It was raining when the Larsons left the Red Wing. Kirsten didn't watch the riverboat pull away from the dock. She didn't ever want to see that boat again because Marta had died on it. She was lonely for Marta, and there wasn't any sun in Minnesota to look at with a prayer. So Kirsten looked at the town of Riverton. She saw wet houses, wet trees, and wet horses pulling wagons loaded with wet logs. She blinked into the rain. "God bless you, Marta," she whispered. Mama touched her cheek. "Cheer up, Kirsten. When Papa and the boys come back with a wagon, it will only take a few hours to reach Olaf's farm." But Papa frowned with worry when he strode back to the dock where Kirsten and Mama waited. "We don't have enough money left to rent a horse and wagon," he said. Mama's shoulders slumped. "What will we do?" she asked. Papa made his voice strong. "We have our good legs. We'll walk to Olaf's farm. We'll just have to leave the trunks here." Mama looked first at the big painted trunk that held their most precious things, then at the black food trunk with Papa's name lettered on its side. "Everything we own in the world is in these trunks," she said sadly. "How can we get along without our clothes and your tools? We'll take what we can carry now, and we'll have the trunk shipped later," Papa said. "Don't lose heart." He began taking blankets and tools from the big trunk. After a moment, Mama said, "It can't be helped. We'll send for them soon. People are more important than things, and we're all together and well, thank God." She made a bundle of the bread and cheese that was left, then closed the food trunk. Papa said, "We need everyone's hands today. Kirsten, you must put your doll here with the other things. You can get her again when the trunks are shipped to us." Kirsten knew she couldn't say no to Papa. Gently, she put Sari on top of the sweaters and linens in the painted truck. Before Papa closed the top, she kissed Sari's faded cheek. "You'll be with me soon," she whispered. Then Papa fastened the lock, and he and Lars dragged the trunk to the warehouse. The family followed Papa down the road along the river, past tiny houses built of split logs. Everyone carried a bundle, and they walked for hours. Kirsten's boots were heavy with mud. Her wool skirt was soaked through to her petticoat. Sometimes she heard a cow moo, but there were long stretches of forest or prairie between farms. Even Lars was tired now. He walked with his head down, his long hair plastered to his neck by the rain. By afternoon, the rain stopped. The sky was a smooth blue bowl. Meadow larks flew up from the fields, and daisies and black-eyed Susans bloomed beside the road. The Larsons were a long, long way from town when they stopped to eat lunch. "Olaf wrote us the truth," Papa said. "The soil here is good. We'll have a better life." Before they walked on, Kirsten picked a daisy for Mama to wear at her collar. Now Papa asked the way at each farm they passed. At last he said, "The next one is Olaf's." In the distance, Kirsten could see a house, a large barn, and a tiny cabin. Cows ambled down the field toward the barn to be milked. Smoke rose from the chimney of the house. Lars and Peter began to run, splashing through puddles. Lars shouted, "Hello!" and Peter cried, "We're here! We're here!" A man with a smile like Papa's came from the barn. Two girls and a woman ran from the house. They waved and called out, "Hello! Hello! It's you! At last!" Suddenly, Kirsten was shy. She shrank back behind Mama, but she heard her own name above the shouts and laughter. "Kirsten? You must be Kirsten!" The taller girl, who had brown braids and gray eyes, took the heavy bundle from Kirsten's arms. "I'm Lisbeth. I watch for you every single day." The little girl with rosy cheeks crowded in. "I've watched too. I'm Anna." Everyone was hugging. Aunt Inger tried to get all the children into her arms at the same time. Papa and Uncle Olaf patted each other's shoulders. Uncle Olaf grabbed Lars, then lifted Peter off his feet. Mama cried. Aunt Inger cried. But they started tugging all over again. Uncle Olaf said, "Come see the barn." "No, you don't," Aunt Inger said. Her smiling face was flushed and red. "First we'll have supper. They're tired and hungry, Olaf. They come halfway around the world to get here." "Hello, hello, it's you, at last." And we walked all day long, Peter added. Aunt's anger hugged Peter again. Then she turned to Mama and Papa. You can get settled in your cabin after supper, she said. And tomorrow, you men can look at the barn while we women talk. Now come in and eat. From the doorway, Kirsten saw fresh bread and butter, a big bowl of potatoes and onions, and a platter of fresh fish on Aunt Inger's long wooden table. Her mouth watered when she noticed a berry tart cooling on the back of the stove. Don't worry about a little mud, Aunt Inger said as they began taking off their boots. Then she saw that their clothes were wet too. But look how you're soaked through, she added. You'll catch cold. We'll find you all some dry things right now. She bustled to a painted trunk like the one Kirsten's family had left in Riverton. For the trunk she took men's brown trousers and white shirts, a blue cotton dress for Mama, and another one for Kirsten. This was Lizbeth's, but she's outgrown it. It will do for now, Aunt Inger said. Go put it on and come right down for supper. Kirsten followed Lizbeth and Anna up a ladder to their place in the loft. Anna gave her a piece of warm quilt to dry her wet arms and legs. Tomorrow, we'll show you our secret fort, she said. Lizbeth and I played there with our dolls. We'll tell you all about it later, Lizbeth added as she handed Kirsten a petticoat. But let's hurry now. We're hungry, and I bet you are too. The dress from Aunt Inger was patterned with little red flowers. Kirsten pulled the soft cotton over her head, and Lizbeth did up the buttons. Now Kirsten was dressed just like her cousins. She followed them down the ladder into the cozy kitchen. When Aunt Inger saw Kirsten, she laughed and pretended to be surprised. Who's this new girl? She asked. Have I met her before? Mama took Kirsten's hand and turned her around for good luck. Why, don't you recognize Kirsten Larson, my American daughter? The next morning, Kirsten woke up in her very own bed in a small log cabin on Uncle Olaf's farm. The cabin was made of split logs. It had a bare plank floor, a small fireplace, and one tiny window. Through the window, Kirsten could see a maple tree. I'm home, she thought. My cousins live right next door. We'll be friends. The morning sun was already hot and grasshoppers jumped in the long grass when Lizbeth and Anna led Kirsten down the path toward the stream. You didn't tell your brothers about our fort, did you? Anna asked. Our fort is only for girls. Anna's cheerful round face made Kirsten smile. No, Anna, I didn't tell them about the fort. I can keep a secret, I promise, she said. Oh, good. Anna carried her rag doll under her arm. The doll's smiling, pasty face made Kirsten miss sorry all over again. Lizbeth held up her hand for them to stop walking. Is anyone coming? She asked Anna. Anna scampered back a few steps and looked down the path they followed through the woods. No one's coming. We're alone. Follow me then, Lizbeth told Kirsten. She lifted up a pine branch and stepped off the trail into the woods. A carpet of sweet-smelling pine needles covered the ground under the trees. We go to our fort through the pines so we won't leave footprints, Anna explained. We don't want anyone to know where we are. Here's the entrance, Lizbeth said. She went down on her knees and crawled into a tunnel made by sumac branches. Kirsten tucked up the skirt of her new dress and crawled after her. The tunnel ended under the green branches of a wild cherry tree. Lizbeth sat back on her heels. Here's our fort, Kirsten. Anna pulled off her sunbonnet and hung it from a branch. Do you like it here? She asked. Kirsten looked around. There were hanging branches made a small, cool room under the tree. She let out a long breath. Oh, yes, she said. Here's where our dolls sleep, Lizbeth said. She laid her doll on a bed made of sticks tied together at the corners with braided grass. Now, come up to the loft. Hold tightly so you don't fall. She grabbed the lowest limb of the tree and pulled herself up into the branches. Kirsten gave Anna a boost up, then climbed after her onto a strong limb. Here's where we keep a lookout for boys, Anna said, swinging her legs. Of course we've never seen a boy in the woods, but with Lars and Peter here, we might. If we see a boy, we'll get down low and stay quiet, Lizbeth said. That's one of our rules, Kirsten. Do you promise to keep the rules? I promise to keep all your rules, Kirsten said. She looked out over the trees. When she left Sweden, she never imagined she was on her way to a hiding place in a cherry tree. Since you live here now, you must have a place in our fort just for your doll, Lizbeth said. Choose where? Anna insisted. Kirsten peered down through the branches into the fort below. Bear, Kirsten said, and she pointed to a moss-covered spot. She scooted down the tree and patted the moss. It was soft and cool. Oh, Sorry would like it here. Since you live here now, you must have a place in our fort, Lisbeth said. Anna climbed down too. She got her doll and walked her across the fort to Sorry's spot. I'm coming to visit, she made her doll say. Where is Sorry? Sorry's still on her way, Kirsten answered, but come visit me. I'm here.